The reminders which we will have this period are very much referring to the very essential nature of our reality, but also is very playful. So, let me first narrate the background. We are living in the game of the duality, identified with our personality, identified with the body. And we spend a lot of time believing that we are this personality, we are this body. Only in moments when you are going into sleep, in deep sleep, you are coming out of it. Or when you are meditating and going consciously beyond every identification, you come to that state where there is just beingness, silence. And the beautiful thing is, when you become more and more familiar with this dimension, you will also see that it is also the dimension of timelessness, is the dimension of the eternal. What that refers to is something much more than one understands perhaps in the beginning. It is referring to that dimension where birth and death does not play a role. The body is born, it dies, the personality comes to manifest, and when the circumstances change, it's also disappearing. But what we essentially am, that is what we need to get consciously familiar with. Of course, unconsciously, everybody comes from the very beginning. For example, when the child is coming to the world, it is simply not in any identification, it's not in any role. It is just part of the eternal. That's why there's a lightness, a certain joy, certain playfulness. And there's a sense of wonder. But then we get into the game and lose the connection to this consciously, or lose the connection to this because we fall more into the identification. And what is required for a healthy, intelligent, balanced way of life, to live playfully, to live without getting lost in the challenges of the world, is again and again to reconnect to this dimension of the eternal, where you are at home, where you are not in any role, where you are not in any kind of dualistic process. That is the sense of meditation, and that is the sense of going deeper, that you get familiar with that what you essentially am. Okay, this is also the sense behind these two reminders, which are very simple, and it is especially for the corona times, because we are used to taking corona naturally very seriously. It needs to be taken care, needs to be understood, the challenges around it. But we need not get heavy, we need not get serious, we need not get lost in a burdensome state. And these two reminders will help you again and again to just let go and come to the moment, come to connect to your eternal. The first one is very simple. Everybody is nowadays washing their hands as often as they can, sometimes a little too much even. But that's a good thing, because you can use that also. When you wash your hand, as you let the water flow. The tap is pouring the water and you are washing the hands. Then for some moments, just close your eyes, be with the flow of the water which is touching your body, which is touching your hand, which is connecting you to this flow. And just become one with the flow. Be with the sound of the flowing water, be with the flow, be with the feeling. And in this way, come deeply to the moment in a conscious way. Let go of everything else. So some moments just be with this flowing water. Of course, you will use up a little bit more water than usual, so make the water not too strong, just a little bit, so that you are not wasting too much water. And come home to yourself. This for a few moments like that, and then continue. So as often as you are washing your hand, take these few moments. That will be very supportive, very valuable. So this is the first one. And the second one is also very interesting. Let me show you. We are all used to carrying a mask. Of course, nowadays maybe you need different kind of masks. I don't know. So when you put the mask and when you go in the street, most often the others won't recognize you. You don't recognize the other. You're more with yourself. You can use this time, you can use this process to remember that you are the one who is looking through the body, looking through this whole outward aspects, as if you are, in a way, in the carnival in Venice. In the carnival in Venice, it is very commonly used that they put the mask so you hardly can recognize the other who is behind the mask. Sometimes yes, sometimes not, unless you are very familiar. So, in a way, that's what we are doing. We are hiding behind our body and the personality and going into the game of the duality. So, the masking is masking in also a deeper sense to be considered. If you consider it carefully, you can see our life in this personality, in this body, is also a certain kind of playing with the periphery, playing with a certain kind of mask. In any case, use these moments just to remember that you are the one who is residing in this body. You are the one who is simply being. You don't try to figure out the other, you don't give the other mostly the chance to figure out who you are because you have a mask. So it's a way, in a way, everybody is covering up each other. So let these moments be these moments to be rooted in your beingness. So being with the state where you are nobody in particular, where you are simply being, go through some part of your mask period when you are going walking, when you are going to the shops. Of course, when you are on the cash and you have to pay and all, then of course you need to answer with your roles. But in all the other moments, try to bring this quality of remembrance, as if you are in a carnival mask play. And with that remembrance, go, dropping all seriousness, all heaviness, and staying with the quality of beingness, being with the moment, being with the presence, being just the presence. So this is something which you can use, and rather than falling into the seriousness and heaviness which can easily happen when you are not going so consciously with the challenges of the corona, let it become a way also to get more clear, get more deep, get more free inwardly. And let it become also a celebrative process, because when you have, in the given circumstances, to be in a certain way, accept that and then go about it so that it is not, whatever you have decided to do, whatever you find is valuable to do, you can also make it into a creative process, a celebrative process. So that is why these things, when you understand it in the right way, it can be applied in many other areas too. But these two reminders will be very helpful. Practice it, enjoy it, have fun, and come more closer to your beingness, to your essence, to that what you are, which is beyond birth and death. That what you are, which is beyond time. That what you are when you are silent, when you are in deep sleep, when you are wakefully present to all what is, without identifying with the body nor the personality. So this will be very helpful.